welcome. If you're just joining us, it's still Rise and Shine, and we're beaming live from the very beautiful hills of Ibiaku. And yes, in our very, sweet culture, this morning we have two very amiable young men in our studios this morning. We always bring you some very remarkable artists, especially here in Akwa Ibom State, projecting our own, giving a voice to some of the very great people that we have. And so, like in our culture, is for the very first time here on Spectrum Television set, we have the Davasol brothers.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so beautiful to have both of you on set this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And the name, the Davasol Brothers, it's an entire brand, like it's a full package brand in Akwa Ibom State. Sure. If you don't know Davasol Brothers, if you've never heard about Davasol Brothers, you're just about to see here, and we are going to put them on a hot spot. They have to give us music, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you
so
much.
It's obvious they're twins. Look at it. Look at their faces. They're twins. They're twins. So they're going to introduce themselves so that we can know who is David and Solomon.
Okay, I'm David Pat.
And I'm Solomon.
But I actually see a difference in both your faces, yeah?
Yeah, sure, there's difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
You must be very smart because so many people just look and say, I can't still identify.
Oh, no, there's actually a difference, yeah.
There's a big difference.
Okay. There's a difference, yeah.
You see it, right?
Yeah, I can see the difference.
But since they look very closely alike, so one would just assume, oh no, there's no difference on their faces.
No, but you know what I'm using as a difference?
What?
Their beards.
Their beards. Okay, one of the beards being longer and one being shorter. I think there's a difference on their face.
The beard is intentional.
And Solomon is darker than David.
Solomon, are you dark?
So good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
How was the journey here?
It was nice.
It was beautiful. We had a lovely time. It was more like we're traveling to another country.
It's good awesome. To know.
Thank you
it's
so
good to
much.
know that you enjoyed your ride here.
Thank you
so let's talk about music.
Okay.
What's music been for, like, both of you? How did you come into music? What's your background in music?
Okay, it's quite an experience for us. Though we face challenges, but then it's an experience. Like I said some time ago, I posted on my social media that I don't record any regret in life. I don't call anything regret. Everything that I went through that would other people see and say, oh, he's regretting. No, it's an experience that we've learned on, and music has been an experience for us growing up from a youthful, from adolescence, from the cradle age. My dad was a choir director, a choir master then, not called choir director then, now they call it choir master. My mom was in the choir. We're into the family of 5 boys. We were all boys, and we're the last born. So my 3 other brothers, they were in the choir. So when everyone is going for choir rehearsal, they will carry us as tiny, as small as we were. So sitting under that atmosphere of rehearsals, we grew up, with that spirit. And then my mom also and my dad helped us, played a very more major role in instilling the fear of God, which helped us, grow into music.
Wow.
Yes, so that's how we just got into it. And eventually, we graduated into teens children's choir. From children's choir we have youth choir. From youth choir we have what we call the men choir. Understand? And then I think some years down we now considered, okay, let's go professional or commercial. Yes. So we now started. Okay, I think 2012 we released our first ever single. But we've all actually been singing all the yes. So when we considered it was the right time. Everything about life we believe is about timing. And when it has to do with gospel music, if it is not, you don't have instruction from God to do some things, you don't do it. You don't do it because other people are doing it. So when we had that divine instruction, okay, it's time to come out, release your first ever single. We did it. That was 2012, and then it was amazing. Would I say it was It was a bomb. It didn't
Yeah.
people believe that your first song will be once you just come out, you
Just
should blow.
hit it.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's
Sometimes.
quite gonna be. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But then there's no guarantee that your first, irrespective of how good you are, yes, you must have that foundation. But the second one was amazing. I think that's what really shut us out.
Okay.
Yes.
So Solomon, at what point would you really say that you both decided to go professional with your music, like make it into a brand? And why did you decide to do it as a Davasol thing? Why didn't you consider David singing on his own, Solomon singing on his own? Why did you believe that doing a duo as Davasol would be stronger?
Okay, being we came into the world as twin, and so naturally we've always been used to doing the things together. Right from nursery school, we've been to school together. We have almost the same costumes together every time. So it was just natural that knowing that I have the gift of singing and David has it, and each time we come to sing together, we just blend in each other. Because even as an artist, you're a single person. You can't sing two parts at the same time.
Yeah,
but it's so lovely. That's one of the advantages we have. That being a twin, we can sing, we are one, yet we are singing two parts at the same time, and that's what we call duo, and it's very, very beautiful. So each time we stand out to do music in church, special number or presentation, people will be like, "Whoa, it is wow! You guys are doing very great." And we couldn't have even thought of saying, Solomon, do it alone, David, do it alone. But the beautiful thing about it is that we are differently unique.
Yes.
David has his own uniqueness. I have mine. So when we bring it together, it gives us, wow, it just...
Okay, which of you will you say is the stronger person on praise? Because I know you guys have this energy when it comes to praise. Who's the stronger energy, David or Solomon?
Davasol is the
Smart one. That was really smart. Okay, so there is a thing in the music industry, the gospel music industry, and I know that there's a thin line where we try to separate gospel music ministry and gospel music industry, and it's on the thin line of commercialization, getting paid to do what you do. So what are your thoughts about that? How do you have a fee that people must pay you before you go minister, or is it as the Lord leads? What's your brand about? How is that management done?
Okay, first
Money matters.
First let me ascertain something. Now God calls each and every, as far as gospel it's related to God, is concerned. God calls each and every one of us and has given us different mandates. We have different calling lines. There are people that God would call and tell them, your ministry, you're not supposed to talk about fee. Yes, you're not supposed to talk about fee, and that does not make them too holy. And there are those that you're supposed to talk about fee, and that doesn't make them any bad. It is only some people who capitalize in saying the ones that don't charge money, they are doing it for God. They're actually doing it for God. No, you can't judge. We're actually not God. God does not judge on the standards or the basis of men. You understand? He has different standard of judgment. I actually watched an interview on television some time ago where Sinach, Big Sister Sinach, was talking about paying a fee, and then they asked her, why do you charge? She said it's a thing of value, that anything that has value has a price tag on it. Would you say that's a lie? That's not a lie.
That's not a lie.
And
Definitely not.
does that mean that because she puts a price on her ministry that she's not blessing life? No, she's blessing life all over the world. So I think it's a thing of personal, calling and instruction or revelation from God. If your ministry entails that you put charges, there's no problem about it, but do it diplomatically. We sometimes have reasons to talk about charges, and sometimes we don't. There are some men of God that calls us, for the sake of, that sanctity, we just, we can't talk about. I've had some big men of God call us, and they'll be like, Davasol, I want you to, what does it take? Okay, sir, okay, by the mercies of God, we're coming with our team. We do this, okay. So we just look at anything the Lord lays in your heart. You bless us. And there are cases where, for example, we'll be in Owerri, I think we'll be in Owerri in August or thereabout. When they called us and they spoke with us, they said, okay, Davasol, what does it take? I had to talk about price. Why did I say that? Because sometimes don't forget I said that we have been in this thing for quite a long while.
Yeah,
So we've had
high
experiences. There are times we went to minister, we finish, and then something you got was appalling. It was an apology, and then you'd be like, okay, we're doing it for God. But the question is, when you keep saying you are doing it for God, do you not pay to record?
And music is really, really
very expensive.
It's and not just enough to produce a song. Promoting
the song, production is entirely different. You can produce all your songs, thousands of songs. It doesn't go nowhere until you start promoting it. Where do you get the money to promote it if you do not put some price on it? But if you have that understanding or that's
the revelation or the
leading with God, and then God tells you, I'm going to do this for you, don't put a price on it. It's different.
There are different people that God has personally given them the grace to do that. Like, for example, I and my brother, at many occasions, there are times we work with a team. We have a team of musicians and backup vocalists. There are sometimes we go for events and we're not given anything, and we use our funds to do it.
And you have to always do that.
We normally use our fund because he works more in the studio. He's a vocal coach. I'm a makeup artist, so I am earning money. We have multiple sources of income. So sometimes we get money from this other source to fund the music part of it. Yeah. So it happens that way.
Okay. All right. So I know my first contact with you guys, I doubt you ever remember, was way back in the kid. During A. Moses' wedding. Okay. That was my first contact with you guys. Sure. And that was the first time I got to see the Davasol brothers, and it was an amazing thing because I'm so in love with twins, and I pray to God I have one.
Definitely. Into their life.
So that was my first experience, and I got to feel the energy that you both resonate in the minds of people. But I want to come from this angle. You've been in the Akwa Ibom music industry for quite a good number of years, and you've had your, footprints, your signatures all over the place. How has it been? How has the growth process been for you in the industry?
Yeah, talking about, I'll try as much as possible to come without, it's been awesome. It's been amazing. Let me say, naturally, being an Akwa Ibom person is a very beautiful thing. Every tribe has their own stereotype. They tell you the Igbos love themselves, the Yorubas do this and do this. And it's a very, very, I don't know if to say it's heartbreaking sometimes that you don't get maybe that kind of love or energy that you get from other tribes here. Yeah. Sometimes we happen to come from a place where you put in so much energy and people are just staying down there to just drag you down. Not because at most occasions you come to know that they don't intentionally do these things, and you're like, where is this energy coming from? Could it be a curse, or could it be just an Akwa Ibom stereotype thing? So it happens that way, but then it doesn't stop us from going. So it's just what keeps us going is focus. We focus on what God has called us to do, because He who calls us has given us grace to go what He's doing. So being an Akwa Ibom artist and be an Akwa Ibom mite and being an artist here is an amazing thing.
Yeah. So in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, where do you see the Davasol brothers? What are your dreams, as a brand? What do you hope to achieve? And we're actually looking at an Akwa Ibom that in the next couple of years, our music will be globally recognized. Because we have this thing where people say, you have to leave Akwa Ibom and go to Lagos or go to Abuja before your music blows up, before you're appreciated. So what are the Davasol brothers doing deliberately as an investment into the music, industry here to represent us, globally?
Okay, growing up, at first I said we had experiences. Growing up, we've had so much experiences and so much lessons to learn also. And one of those lessons are growth. Growth is very, very important in anybody's life, at any stage of life. If you're stagnant, you stink. Anything that is stagnant stinks. If you find it not important for you to, develop yourself, upgrade yourself, update yourself, you become stagnant, and that means it leaves you nowhere. Some years back, people who were following us consistently can tell that Davasol was not like this. Yes, consistency follows, persistency also follows, but then it counts anyways. But then we weren't like this. We actually grew. At first, when we started, we're more like worship into worship.
Slow songs.
You understand? Slow songs. It was beautiful. We're still doing that anyways, but then people keep asking, where do you get the energy from? We just had to discover ourselves. After we've grown, and then we now carve a niche for ourselves and be like, okay, like people seem to love us when we're energetic on stage. So, and most times, by the message of God, so many places that we've been to, because of they expect. So if we go to some places like this evening, we have somewhere to go, and then we choose to do something very people like from the crowd, give us hot, give us hot. You understand? So we're like, okay. Oh yeah, switch. Let's go there. Let's go to the other side. And then people like, yeah, you understand? So the thing is that we are growing. Everyone is growing. So we are believing that in some years to come, by the mercies of God, as God lives, that we are going to do well by the mercies of God. Now we can only have aspirations and say, okay, this is what we would like to be like. But we most importantly pray that God's will be done.
Okay,
yes.
So I'm going to ask. Okay, you want to say something to that?
The Bible says that the path of the righteous
is like
the shining light that shineth more and more until the perfect day. There is nothing you can do without God.
Yeah,
it's not by might, it's not by power, but by the Spirit, says the Lord. No matter how many connections you have, no matter how many strings, how many phone calls, how many big people you have, we have been in cases where people will say, before now we started singing at government house. Before we started singing at government house, when we were young, we had people promise us, I'm going to take you there, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
But they could not do it. But when it was just time for God to do it, you understand? What I believe in is opportunity, preparation. When preparation meets with opportunity,
absolutely,
you're going. So I just believe we have been preparing for a greater future, and by the mercies of God, we believe God that Davasol today that you're sitting here, if we're coming back to this place tomorrow, you can never be on this same level. We grow every minute by the mercies of God. And in 5 years time, oh my God.
Okay, so let's do are you in a relationship?
Am I in a relationship? Jesus Christ.
Is Solomon in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship with Jesus.
Solomon, Jesus. Your fans need to hear this. Are you available? A sister
are you single? Let me put it right. Are you single and ready to mingle?
This my ring here. It can be deceiving at times. I am single. I'm
like single and
ready to mingle.
Okay, you're single and ready to
I'm not interested. I'm focused. Yes.
David.
Okay, I would say I'm in a relationship with God, like my brother said. But somehow I don't think it's really time for us to, focus on that.
Is this something people want to collaborate to do? You want to do it at a...
Not really. If Solomon gets ready to get married tomorrow, he can
David likely looks like somebody that's getting married first.
Okay. No, he has the big bird, so it's possible he might be the one to marry first.
Absolutely nice. Okay, it's so beautiful to have you here, but we need to do some sport on music things.
Okay.
I see that you people have a lot of beautiful sounds, even with a lot of really beautiful music videos. And one of my favorite all-time favorite from you people, I know it's been on my lips like all this week.
Are you serious?
Imami Jesus, yeah, I got it right. Okay, so we're going to have like an on-set something for the people. Okay. Those harmonies that you people give us, please treat us. We are your audience.
Okay. Imani Jesus amaremi akana na mkwe akana na mami mkwe uto imayemi o amami o amami o Imani Jesus amaremi akana na mkwe.
Oh my.
It's so beautiful. That's so warm. I know, like we have like back end someone like spraying in the Holy Ghost, right? That's the effect. Thank you for blessing us with your sounds. Thank you
so
for
much.
being a blessing in Akwa Ibom State, and we do really hope that pretty soon, the nations of the world will come to the brightness of your rising. Yeah, and your sounds will travel the world. Thank you. It's been such a beautiful morning here, and we've had the Davasol brothers on set with us this morning. That's David and Solomon Hart. I got that right.
Yeah, before you end, sometimes people ask, what's the meaning of Davasol? No, it's a compound word. It's a combination of David and Solomon. So take the first 3 letters, D-A-V, then A from Anne, and S-O-L. You have Davasol.
Is that easy now? That's so easy, right? Okay, thank you so much for coming. We absolutely appreciate you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to add color to what we do here. Bye-bye. It's your bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Just Amami.
That's
all.
There's nobody. Amami means nobody can love us like the Lord, loves us.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being a part of our show today. And that's the entire size of our package this morning. We will see you same time, same station next week. But our programmings continue for the rest of the day. Thanks for choosing Spectrum Television. Have a very great weekend. It's bye-bye from us. I remain Uyayaniak and Francis.
And I am Francis, and enjoy a very wonderful weekend.